Hey folks, Pat here from DNS, and this Madison area fishing report is current as of Friday, February 28th. Well, I apologize for the lateness of this post. It's been busy and kind of crazy here this morning, and we'll see if we can just crank this out. We do have a lot to talk about. So before we do, I do want to stress that this report is for current conditions as of today's date. Many factors can cause ice conditions to vary, so please be careful no matter where you fish. For up-to-date ice conditions, please feel free to call the shop at 608-241-4225, and we can tell you what we're hearing around town. Or if you run into some sketchy ice yourself, please call the shop and let us know, or post in the comments below. So, a couple announcements here to go over. The biggest one being that game fish season closes this Sunday at midnight. So March 2nd it closes. Here you can see in the regs, and that is for walleye and pike on inland lakes. So you can still fish flowages like Petenwell, Castle Rock, and Lake Wisconsin, and but the walleye is closed for inland lakes, so all the Madison chain. You can still also fish bass, but you can't keep any bass. Bass is open year round now, and it's a catch and release after Sunday at midnight. So, yeah, it's sad to see it go, but this is your chance to get out there. Late ice is a great time. You got pike with their getting ready to spawn. They got their feed bag on. Walleye doing the same thing. But I made a couple posts here this week. We have smelt here at the shop. We got some left here. Swing in and grab some of those. Great late ice pike bait, and also of course jumbo shiners. I'm sure you probably saw the post on Facebook, and this is really cool. But a bunch of people started kind of chiming in with big fish that they've caught. Look at this one, Jason Granger. Oh my God, just a giant pike. And then I'm not going to play Noah's video, but he had an awesome video with a younger guy that he took out fishing, Brian Serb. I mean, Jesus, look at these fish. And yes, caught on bait, but here at DNS, Lucas killing it out there. So yeah, great fish. Oh, and you can't, not if it's a trophy to you, then we're happy you caught it. So there's Henry with a couple fish there. But yeah, always happy to post your catches here. We love to see it. Thanks, Josh, there for that awesome pike there too. So anyway, yep, it's that time of year. Get out there, get some big pike, get some walleyes for the last weekend here, and we'll be talking about the ice here too a little bit. But other stuff to cover. We have some Beaver Dam tip-ups we're putting on sale here. So $10 off remaining stock of Beaver Dam tip-ups. I got a bunch of those camo ones, which didn't sell very well, but I thought they were cool. I don't know, but whatever. And then some of the cancer awareness ones, and any of these display models too you might want. We're happy to get rid of those. Also, wanted to announce that Noah Humfeld at Madison Angling Guide Service is going to be doing a small boat salmon school here Saturday, April 26th, 9 a.m. to noon. You can stop in the shop here and sign up. You can contact him at info@madisonangling.com. What this is so Noah guides out on Lake Michigan. Obviously, he's talked about it and posts about that stuff, and he does a great job. Really knows his stuff, but he guides in his 21-foot Ranger, so it's not some huge charter boat, and so he gets a lot of questions for folks, and he takes folks out and kind of shows them what he's doing. But he thought, a big barrier to getting folks out there is knowing what they're doing, and this will maybe help kind of give people that nudge that they can get out to do it. So he'll go over what he does with his boat. He, like I said, really knows what he's doing. So it should be very informative. It's $50 a person, 25 guests, limited to 25 guests. We're going to be doing that here at the shop. So like I said, sign up and check that out. It's going to be a great event, and I'll be promoting that. And speaking of events and learning stuff, we're going to have our seminar series. I'm going to announce that next week. I just got to get one more confirmation and some pictures, and we'll have that together. The ice is melting. There's no more snow on top. It's slick out there. You might want some ice cleats. They're important to have. I wear mine year round. During the ice season, all the time. So spud bar, also a good idea. J-rope or some length of rope carry with you. Floating ice picks, great idea. I do have the Vexilar batteries, the lithium batteries, $59.99. It's a great deal on this for a 12 amp hour battery. Fly tying stuff, we got a huge order in last week, so we're running it on a full tank as far as fly stuff goes, or tying stuff goes. Wanted to also mention the Capital City chapter of Muskies Inc. has their Muskie Stocking raffle where you can buy tickets here at the shop, swing in and pick some up. All this money raised goes towards Muskie Stocking efforts, and they do a great job here on our area lakes in stocking that. And these prize packages are no joke. You can win some serious stuff. So stop in and pick up one of those. And then as far as stuff on the door goes, we have posters out there, Wisconsin Muskie Expo, March 14th to the 16th. That's up in Wausau. The Capital City chapter of Muskie's Inc. Muskie School. They do a great job with this. You can learn a lot about muskie fishing from local folks, and they got a lot of folks that come in from around the Midwest. It's a great opportunity to get out there. It's at Wanakee High School. Stoughton, the Stoughton Conservation Club has their second annual hunting and fishing garage sale. And so, yeah, I think it's the Stoughton Conservation Club. Anyway, it's at the VFW this weekend. You can go down there, and a bunch of folks have tables out selling some stuff. I know Tuck, who works here, is going to be selling a bunch of stuff. So 8 to 12:30 on Sunday. Go check it out. Say hi to Tuck for me. We got Noah's poster here. The Drinking with Scissors, their next event is the 23rd. And then we have Fat Tuesday coming up. The Villa Tap, if you're looking for some great food to celebrate Fat Tuesday, they do a great job. So John makes an awesome jambalaya. They got po' boys. They got key lime pie. Anything you need. I will be down there Tuesday night next week enjoying Fat Tuesday myself. So great. We made it through all the announcements. Let's do the report here. As far as weather goes, it started warming up last Sunday, and we had spring-like temperatures all week. Windy and warm today with a bit of cool down for the weekend, but the extended forecast barely has a high below 40. So we're going to see what that does to the ice. The ice is in decent shape right now, but next week's going to be tough, and today's going to be even tougher on it, actually. So, yes, I want to stress that this report is for current conditions as of today's date because, I do get a lot of questions about this, so I thought I'd maybe try to touch on it. A lot of people they're like, oh, well, it's great that there isn't any rain in the forecast, and rain, isn't great for ice, but really what hurts rain is sun, of course, and if there's no snow on it to protect from the sun, that heats the water below the ice quite a bit, so sun is damaging. But what a lot of people don't know is that wind is can really hurt wind or ice a lot. So you can go on if you Google how lake ice thaws. This report from Lake Champlain, which is out in New York, of course, comes up. But it's very interesting stuff about how lake ice melts. And here they say if a warm wind is the primary driver between top surface melting and over a 24-hour period at 50 degrees, a strong 20 to 30 mile an hour wind, which is what we're dealing with today, can cause over 2 inches of ice loss. In the same period, heavy rain and only moderate wind results in just 1 inch of ice loss. So, wind and sun are ice killers. So do be careful out there. That's going to be the theme of this report. And, if you head out, obviously you're going to look out for areas that have current. You're going to want maybe where a storm sewer outfall comes in. Of course, cracks and heaves are something to look out for. But I think the ice is going to hold on. It's going to cool down this next weekend, so I think it's going to hold on into next week. And we'll see what next week brings, though, because like I said, it's getting soft out there, but there's still maybe 12 inches ice in a lot of spots, but it's soft. And anyway, we'll talk. So generally, as far as fishing goes, I'll get into the details as we go through the report. But as the water warms, all species of fish are in a great mood, making late ice one of the best times of year to get out. If it's shallow water panfish you're after, if you can find weeds, you'll likely find bluegills with maybe a crappie mixed in. The usual spikes, waxies, and plastics working well for those fish. Generally speaking, the perch bite has been tough. With fish hard to find and even harder to get to bite. Folks fishing shallow water tip-ups with shiners have been having good action for bass and especially good pike action, especially with larger shiners and smelt as those fish bulk up to get ready to spawn. The walleye have been showing up in some of those same shallow areas, usually around shoreline breaks, usually at low light hours. Otherwise, anglers are still out on mid-lake humps and deeper shoreline breaks, and reports I've heard have been good, with most action, again, coming during low light periods. Either way, if it's walleye you're after while you're out, we are out of blacktail chubs. My bait guy just dropped off, so we're out of blacktail chubs. He doesn't have any. I don't know when he'll have them, but we do have large fathead minnows, small suckers, and medium shiners. Really have been the best this season, anyway. And also, folks are getting out on the river, which we'll touch on a little bit there too. Otherwise, up here to Cherokee, I was up there on Tuesday, and we had like 12 inches of ice, but it was soft on top. But and I just talked to a guy who's up there. It looked like access on the shoreline was good. So, but again, current conditions that could change. North Bay, or actually no, I got my little map here of the lakes, so let's just talk about heaves. All the same heaves from last week are still out there. I don't know that they've gotten any worse, and I don't know that they've gotten any better, but they still exist. So if you want to get out off Governor's Island, you got to go out past this heave here on the north that heads out towards North Bay, but you can get in between these two heaves pretty easily and access the main lake. This heave over here north of that kind of starts north of Bishop's Bay is heads down to Second Point, but it does skirt, I guess, just the east side of Second Point. So if you want to get to Second Point, maybe head off Marshall or Mendota County Park. Still a heave off here off Picnic, but you can get out and around it, I guess. University Bay, I'm still not sure where that heave goes off U Bay, but do be careful. If it's not a heave, I think it's a crack. But anyway, be careful out there, especially around heave areas. And like I said, last I heard, most of the lake has about 12 inches of ice on it. It is soft on top. But things will firm up this weekend. So like I said, I think we're going to make it into next week just fine. I think it's supposed to be 17 degrees tomorrow morning with a wind chill below zero. So yeah, that'll firm things up nice, and we should get through the weekend just fine. But next week is tentative, we'll call it. Anyway, so as far as fishing goes on Mendota, we've got mostly smaller pike and walleye up here in North Bay, although the big pike do tend to move up there to get ready to spawn this time of year, and I know a lot of guys are excited to get up there. I got to bring my map back. Yeah, okay. So yeah, North Bay all season's been producing smaller walleye and pike, but bigger fish are moving in there, I'm sure. Areas like the west end of the lake here, the West Basin, have some perch have been scattered over there. I haven't heard anything out anywhere else on Lake Mendota. The scattered fish there, the guys are getting their 10 fish limit, but you do have to work for them for it, it sounds like. Also heard about some good tip-up action over here on the west end. Otherwise, all your mid-lake humps, Dunsbar, Commodore, Second Point, Brearley have all been producing walleyes and continue to do so. Haven't heard anything about the panfish in University Bay, but the pike action down there has been good, and some walleye at low light hours, also good walleye and pike action along the city and university shorelines. Yeah, Warner Bay's been producing some good pike. Our jumbo shiners have been real popular with the pike crowd, so get in here and get some of those. That bait will be gone after this weekend. So when game fish season closes, I don't sell a lot of the big bait, of course. So Lake Monona, gosh, I don't even really know what's going on with Lake Monona. It has been a ghost town down there from everything I've heard. Walleye are about the only thing going, and that's been few and far between. Mid-lake humps, you got the bar out here, you got some areas over here off Winnequa, stuff like that, off Olin are good areas, but the perch bite out there has been non-existent. I've heard of one perch caught all winter. Areas you want to look out for ice, there's a heave going across here, I think, in front of Olbrick. You want to go to the you want to go to the where the hard dumps in here. You want to look out there, and out in front of Monona Terrace is some heaves out there. But the shining star of the Madison chain and really the state as far as bluegill fishing goes through the ice is Monona Bay. A lot of fish in there. Folks are still getting fish. Head down there if that's what you want to catch, and you will be rewarded likely. It's been great. Winger's got a bunch of tiny bluegills. Sorry, I can't keep my phone from stopping ringing here, but there we go. And Winger's got a bunch of tiny bluegills in there. There's a few decent perch I hear. Pike and bass are available on tip-ups, but that action's been spotty from what I hear. Otherwise, Weechawak Bay, I've heard about some bluegills in there picking up just recently, but otherwise it's been pretty slow all year. A lot of small walleye, a lot of small pike. Down on Lake Wabisa, Upper Mud, the path back there is bound to be pretty sloppy, but last I heard, I talked to somebody who was back there, and they had a bunch of small gills and a lot of good action on pike, which is pretty much what I've been hearing all year. Down to Lake Farm, it sounds like the gill action's been picking up there. Walleye action and pike action's been improving, but anything's better than nothing that they had all winter. So, Lake Farm's been good, it sounds like. South end of Wabisa's had some good gill action down there. Walleye action in Bible Camp and Babcock areas has been hit or miss, but still getting some fish down there from what I hear. And the perch action out on Wabisa, at least if you can find fish, it sounds like they're in a little better mood than they are in Monona. But still been a kind of a tough go for the perch anglers down there. Same thing down on Kegonsa. Perch are tough to find, but if you can find them, they're also haven't been in a great mood to bite, if I'm honest. But anyway, perch have just been tough. Bluegills on the south end of the lake, walleyes along the state park. Try to burn through the rest of the report here because I'm not sending people off, if they don't know what the ice is like. Rock River is going to be opened up. It sounds like there's a lot of ice in there now, but this warm weather is going to get it opened up, maybe even today. Koshkonong, same thing. Springs, cracks can be a pain. I wouldn't drive a truck out there, maybe an ATV. Black Hawk Island, most of the action I hear about is up here on this north end of the lake. Fort Atkinson, Jefferson, I haven't heard anything off of in a bit because it's been chilly, but with this warm weather, it's bound to bring some fish up there and should be all right. So, what else? Beaver Dam Lake. I heard things kind of slowed down up there. Devil's Lake State Park, the trout bite continues to be good. I did have to call the DNR yesterday and find out. It turns out that trout does close with game fish season. So no more trout after Sunday at midnight. I had somebody in here who was asking about that. Otherwise, river, still has a lot of ice on it. I drove over it the other day. Still has a lot of ice on it. I was surprised by that. Backwater sluice should be good. Do watch out for springs and runoff as things warm up here. Lake Wisconsin will remain open for game fish, but I haven't heard much for walleye up there in a while. But shallow bays have been good for mostly small panfish from the reports I hear. Otherwise, up the river, that your dams are going to be opening up. I had a guy in the other day was headed up to the Dells Dam. Prairie du Sac Dam had 12 boats out in front of it like Tuesday. So, yeah, they've been fishing out there, and I haven't heard how they're doing, but I imagine pretty good. Same thing, Pete and Well, Castle Rock. You can fish up there after game fish. I haven't heard much more than a decent crappie and walleye bite. Mississippi River, it's going to start getting sketchy over there. I think I just talked to somebody who was over in DeSoto and didn't do well. But otherwise, what I've heard, everything from Prairie du Chien up to La Crosse has been good. I know Lake Onalaska has been good. So yeah, get over there if you want to catch some jumbo perch. It's definitely like airboat season. So the guides that run airboats out there, if you know somebody with an airboat, get out there. That action just gets better and better as we go through the ice here. Milwaukee, steelhead are in the rivers. The rivers, last I heard, were pretty iced up, but that's all going to change here real quick too. Otherwise, they are getting fish out here in the harbors, steelhead and brown trout. So get over there and check that out if you want something a little different. Otherwise, as far as trout fishing goes, we are still in the middle of the catch and release season. So all fish caught need to be immediately released, and only artificial lures can be used. But the fishing around the area has been pretty good. I've talked to a few people that have done well on some of the warmer days. We had this last week, and with all the snow gone, we shouldn't have too much more problems with melt. Your bite window still remains about 10 o'clock in the morning till 2 is going to be your best time. More like 11 o'clock to 1 is really going to be the best of it. But this time of year, slow and low is still the name of the game. The water's still pretty chilly, so slow runs, deeper runs, you're going to want to work your lures slowly through there. If you're fishing spinning gear, suspending and sinking jerk baits like a husky jerk or like a Rapala countdown are good. Crappie Sipes tube jigs are working well through some of those deeper runs. On the fly side of things, we'll just segue this right into our Happy Fly Day feature. All you really need is a pink squirrel. From here through the whole month of March for sure, pink squirrel is the best way to catch trout. If you want to challenge yourself, you can certainly run. Woolly buggers are also a great idea, maybe with a pink squirrel trailer behind it, or one of these midge nymphs can also be fun. But nothing will outfish a pink squirrel this time of year. You might run into some fish on top, catching, eating flies on top. If you can't see what they're eating midges, which would be like some of these size, tiny little dry flies here. Otherwise, if they're chasing like a dark gray colored moth looking thing, those are stone flies. And, a caddis. Elk hair caddis works great in my experience for some of those, but darker the better. So we have them here black or with black bodies. And otherwise, you could this next week run into some blue-winged olives popping off. So this time of year with olives, they're generally also run darker. So you could fish some of these midge patterns that I talked about. They're usually small and darker, the blue-winged olives are. But we do have some darker, like little parachutes, dark kind of an elk hair, what do they call this? Sparkling dun. And this is a BWO emerger, so that's a wet fly, but can also be very effective. And then also these parachutes are great. So either way, we got some nice weather on the way. Finish your week strong. I hope you get out there and do some ice fishing. It's going to be great, opportunity to do it. Game fish are hungry, so I think we made it through the report okay. This one definitely got long. I appreciate you hanging in there if you're still listening. But good luck out there. Feel free to call the shop, 241-4225, if you have any questions about what we've talked about. Otherwise, I wish you luck. Thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you next week. Thanks so much.